Oh, just kidding. So I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have a 50 amp breaker. I had a 30. We got it in there. And I can go through about half, maybe a little more on the amperage, and I can go about 1.5 stick, and it overheats. So 50 ampere probably give me a little higher duty cycle. I know that's not how you're supposed to use the welder. What we got? A couple of gaps to fill down there on the end. Got a couple that were cut about 1/8 short. If anyone's asking why I'm stick welding when I have a wire feed welder sitting in the background, it's because it's pretty much done. It lets me get about 3/4 of an inch on the amount of heat that it takes to get through the 3/16, and then the welder shuts down. That's why. Time for a new welder.
Here we are in the donor trailer, and I've already got a couple coats on the benches. There will be touch-ups done once we get it installed in the trailer, but for now I've just got to carry these over to the trailer so that I could make space for the lower kitchen cabinets that I'm going to start working on today. The plan is to get them washed, get them any of the peeling laminate. I've got to glue that down. I've got to remove the broken LED light strip that goes around it, which I guess we're going to add another LED strip later. But I got to take all that out, pull all the staples off, and then once I'm done cleaning it and getting it ready for that, then I can prime it and then I can paint it. But that's the next step in the painting process. Going to do the lower kitchen and then probably the lower bathroom. Because the uppers can also be put in any other time, but the lowers have the plumbing and the electrical and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to get those done first so that Dan has the ability to install those and then do his work around with whatever he's got to do for the plumbing and get all that figured out. So that is the next step for my part of the project. And so we're just going to get these moved and then get set up for working on the lower kitchens, which is that one hiding in the corner way over there, and then that's the lower bathroom. So anyway, that is the plan. Let's get started. All right, got a rough coat of primer on here. Got some drips and other things that I'll just sand out a little bit before I paint. And gotta let this dry for a little while. And then we'll see if I need to do another coat of primer. I might need to do another coat on this door. Took off all the hardware. I have that over here. I'm planning on painting all the hardware, probably from all the handles from everything. So I'll do that all at once. Don't really care about getting paint on these drawer slides because you're really not going to see those. But other than that, got the bottom kitchen cabinets primed, and next step is paint. Time for an update on the cabinets. I got the main kitchen cabinet done. Just stuff to roll on another coat and use a paintbrush and get into some of these corners here. I'm really liking it. I think it's going to look really good in there. We already have that on the bench, and we've got that installed in there in the dinette. And I think it looks really great, especially with the green, the pewter green that we're doing. So I got the rest of the cabinets that are going to be painted this gray color. I have them sanded, washed, sanded, primed, or primered. And now I'm going to get started on the first coat of the gray metal. Cabinets are mostly painted with the black paint. Just waiting for this coat to completely dry, and then I'll do a light sanding and do a final coat before we move all this into the trailer. And then I get to start on the dark green color for the rest of the cabinets. So now I'm going to go into the trailer and start working on priming the wall that the wallpaper is going to go on for the kitchen. All right, so the plan for today is to finish painting the ceilings in the trailer and to put up this peel and stick wallpaper in the kitchen. I'm a little nervous about doing this wallpaper. I haven't done wallpapering in a lot of years, but this is peel and stick. It's a little bit different than what I've done before. So I mean, my plan is just to measure it, cut it, peel it, and stick it, but we'll see how that goes. All right, went through my garage, got some more painting supplies, found some ceiling paint that starts out pink. It's color changing, starts out pink and then changes to white. That way you know where you covered. We're all about finding things that we already have and utilizing those because, again, this is a budget build and got to save money wherever we can on this thing. It's pretty awesome. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get that paint mixed up and get started on painting the ceilings. When I'm painting and I'm in the middle of a project and I know I'll be coming back to something multiple times, instead of washing out my brushes or my rollers, I just bag them and then they stay ready to roll. And then I'm not having as much cleanup in between days. So I've got my primer on this one, and you could tell it's, I mean, last time I used this was 2 days ago, and it's still really soft. So I just throw it in a Ziploc bag and try to close off as much air as I can. And it works pretty awesome for when you can just come and throw an extra coat on something or put an extra hour in here or there. And then you're not having to constantly be cleaning up all of your stuff. Not a professional in any way, shape, or form, but that's just what works for me. Probably should have done this before the dinette was installed. That's great. All right, so got the ceiling painted and the dinette. Not too worried about the little smudges I got over here because I'm gonna be having Dan either do a piece of trim along there or we'll do some caulking, and then I've got to repaint. I got to paint that green anyway, so I'll just touch this wall up when I do that. Not that big of a deal. This under here is just gonna be the cap, like for the cabinets to go underneath to mount to. So this isn't that big of a deal either. That's why I wasn't worried about filling in all these staples because those will be hidden by the cabinets anyway. But I did just want to kind of get it on the edges of this. So now I'm just gonna do the edging in the hallway. Then once Dan gets the ceiling done up in the bathroom and finishes putting the ceiling up in the garage, I will do the rest of the ceiling paint. But for now, I'm just gonna finish the edging in the hallway, and then I'm gonna move on to attempting to wallpaper. All right, so my friend Shannon came over and she helped me put up all the wallpaper. We did these first 2 strips of it and realized that the wallpaper sticks a lot better to this wood when it has the primer on it, and then the bottom of it didn't have the primer, so it wasn't as sticky. And as you can see, there's still some bubbles and stuff in here, but I'm not too worried because the cabinets are gonna go up here and down there. But after our first 2 strips that we put down, we ran to the store and got a spray adhesive in addition to the stick-on, and it sticks. You can't really see as well right here because of the shadows, but this panel has stuck so much better to the wood because of the spray adhesive, and then it stuck incredibly well to the aluminum. So now I just have to wait for my husband to get home and install these cabinets, and then we're starting to get this kitchen coming together.